We're good? Yes guys, welcome back to the YouTube. I'm joined by a special guest today. I have my client Ben, who is just over 3 weeks out from his first show of the season. So he's doing the MBW show and he's going to be doing classic physique. So we'll go through some posing at the end. We think the posing room might be busy, but we'll go through some posing somewhere. You'll be sound, won't you?
Do it in the rain.
Yeah, we'll do it outside. So I'm in Stockport again. I put a video on probably a couple of months back, last time I was here. It's the same session, so sorry if you've already seen that session, but basically it's the same session. It's Saturday, it's legs, and Ben's obviously jumping in as well. So yeah, we'll get straight onto it. It's quite busy. There's also a hard body lifting event at midday. So we've got here for 9 o'clock, trying to be done before it gets too busy and before all the hard body athletes like Jack Eagles get here. Don't want to see them. So yeah, we'll crack on and we'll just keep you up to date all the way through the session, and then we'll go through some posing at the end. Right guys, so starting off, superset on calves and abs. A little bit more time efficient, not too demanding. I'm doing a slightly lower volume session as well today, just with how I'm feeling at the minute. I've got a couple more weeks before a deload. I'm going to Barcelona for my birthday, so I don't want to take a deload. I don't need a deload, but I can tell like training volume's a little bit high. I'm not recovering as well as I'd like. More niggles flaring up, so volume's a little bit lower today. But it's not necessarily a, let's say, quote unquote, it has to be a D-volume session. I'll just auto-regulate. Like if I do a set and I'm like, that felt really good, I'm feeling pretty good, I'll do a second set. If I feel pretty trashed and it didn't feel great, I'll probably leave it at one set. But yeah, that's the plan for today. Also with this ab crunch, like, seems to be an exercise that I have to speak about to clients a lot, because they just tend to sort of basically use their body weight to move the weight. So if you're not really connecting well with your abs on an ab crunch, likelihood is you're just sitting back into it. So if you watch when I'll do my second set, my hips just stay fixed the whole time. And all that I'm doing is working through spinal extension and spinal flexion. It's this, it's not this. If you finish a set and you don't really feel like you've done anything through your abs, and you don't get an intense stretch at the top and a really good contraction as you sort of crunch down and exhale as you crunch down, you're probably just pulling through your body weight and through your arms instead of actually training the abs. And that goes for any ab movement machine or even like a hanging leg raise as well.
Pull. Haven't touched it. And again, all you. Again.
Spitting all over the chest pad. Sorry guys, sorry Ben. Don't lick that, mate, that's spat on it.
Oh, nice.
Not that, I mean, would you usually lick it anyway?
Testosterone off it now.
No, I've not got much test, mate.
Nice.
Still in the bin. That's not, it's all right now.
Sound.
Cool. So you'll see, like, I took a few forced reps and I took a few partials, whereas with Ben, as soon as there's a rep that he can't quite get fully short on his own, I'll either give him a little touch or just leave it there. Obviously Ben's 3 weeks out, he's in a deficit, he's very lean. I'm not 3 weeks out, I'm not in a deficit, I'm not very lean. I can recover from those forced reps, I can recover from more volume, more demanding sets at this point. And also, like, the last thing we need to do for Ben is potentially sort of put him into a hole after this session, to the point where then he's struggling to do his cardio, struggling to do his steps because his hamstrings are so sore from all those forced reps. One thing that pisses me off when I see people training with their clients is like they just try and batter them, like they try and make them sick in a session. It's like, that's not impressive. Like, the goal in leg session is not to go and throw up, especially if a client's 3 weeks out. So if you're a client who's being coached, or if you are a coach, your goal when you're training with a client isn't just to run them into the ground so they can tell their mates about how hard it was. Like, the goal is to make sure they learn and actually make sure that they can sort of leave that session with good sort of take homes, but also, especially in a prep, like, you can still pose tomorrow he can still go and do his cardio, go and do his steps without feeling like, oh my God, I'm absolutely ruined from all that novel stimulus of doing new exercises, new machines, and all the force reps. So just be sensible. Also, with Strive kit or Prime kit, ultimately what I would recommend that you do with the loading pattern is generally you want to work within the sort of mid to lengthened ranges on the cam. So this is basically the cam sort of setting, and this will adjust this here, which again, if we look at this sort of oval looking thing, the cam, basically it adjusts the cam setting to drop the weight off in certain ranges. Now, generally muscles are stronger when they're stretched than when they're shortened, especially on something like a prone hamstring curl. You know, if you think about that shortened range, it's really, really hard there because we're not so strong there. So ultimately you want to make it harder where we're stronger in that mid to lengthened range. So set 1 we did on cam 5, which is the mid to lengthened, and then set 2 we did on cam 3, which is fully in the lengthened. We actually did both sets on the same load. So I didn't need to change the load, I just changed the cam. And again, I would recommend that with pretty much any Prime kit. Work between settings 1 and 3. And as you fatigue throughout the session or throughout the sets, work closer towards that mid to lengthen range as you fatigue. And again, that goes for anything, whether it be even plate loaded kit. Work on the mid and the top pin, and as you fatigue throughout sets and the session, place more towards the top pin. Right guys, so if you have a pendulum in your program or in your gym, and you find that often you sort of feel like your hips are coming forward on it, I would definitely recommend using something like a small pad behind your upper back. Here they already have this band on there, so you can basically just sort of like slide that in and it fits there really nicely. You could use like a foam roller. You don't have to have something there. Sometimes you could literally just shift your upper back slightly forward. Like if I don't have like a small foam roller like this, I'll just shift my upper back slightly off the pad so that I'm almost imagining driving my hips back as much as possible, because of the arc sort of nature. If you're laying all the way back, what will happen when you start to fatigue is your hips will start to shift forward, and as soon as your hips come off this back pad, your stability's gone, your brace is gone, your ability to generate force is going to be massively lesser. So if you have something like this, or even if you don't, shift your upper back slightly forward, and from the bottom of the rep, think about driving your knees sort of over your toes and driving your hips back as much as you can into the back pad to create a little bit more stability. This belt was gifted to me probably like 6 years ago from a guy who used to train out of Pure Gym Loughborough when I worked there. Shout out to that guy, I can't remember his name, he was a nice guy. He made a brand called Gainers Club and gave me like a t-shirt and this belt. And to be fair, I've not really used the belt that much in my training. So this has just been like in my cupboard for ages. And then I found it and now I use it for my pendulum. So shout out to that guy, thank you mate. Gainers Club, don't know if it's still going. Whew. Whew. Easy. Come on. Oh,
Easy, mate. Come on. Easy, easy. Easy, and again. Push, push, push. And again. Push, 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 push. All you. And again. All you. Push, 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 push. And again. Push, 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 push,
Oh,
push,
yeah, again.
push, push. Easy. All you. Come on, Finn. Push, 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 push.
Boom! That's good, thank you, mate.
That's good, sir.
So, last time I was here was 25th of February, which is like just over 2 months ago. And I got 4.5 with a slight pause for 8 and 2. That was 5 for 6 and 2, 5 plates for 6 and 2. So 10 kilos up, a couple of reps down. Obviously not used to the machine. I have been doing a pendulum on this session anyway, but not this one. Felt good. Used the Mercurials, the Nike Savalios, and I've tried them today with basically without actually tying my laces and strapping them tight, because I just find that it allows for a little bit more sort of freedom through my ankles to create even more knee flexion when they're not too tight. So felt pretty good, to be fair, so I'll probably run with that. So just one set on that. Very demanding, couple of force reps as well, so just one set. And we'll jump onto a leg press next. So they've recently gotten rid of the pre-core leg press, which is what I've used before and I've had clients using before. But to be fair, like, these two linear leg presses are somewhat similar anyway to that pre-core, but I did get on well with the pre-core. I've used this before only once. It's really heavy, but it feels a lot better again since I've got the squat shoes. It does feel better. I like the hammer strength. I feel like you can't really go wrong with the hammer strength, but this is a bit more exciting, a bit different, and it feels good still, so we'll run with this.
Easy, mate. Easy, and again. All day, Finn. Easy, Finn, come on. Push, 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 push. All day, come on. All day. Push, 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 push. And again.
Jesus.
Barely touched it, and again. Push, 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 push.
Yeah.
All you, all you, all you, all you. Push, 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 push.
Boom. Oh. Nice. Ooh. So I was saying to Ben, literally just before that set, that like, this feels heavier than most leg presses. partly because it's a heavy leg press, but also because of the actual profile. So it's really, really hard in the lengthened right at the bottom, where generally, yes, we're stronger, but our leverages are going to want us to sort of just drop into it and bounce out of it. So I'm trying to implement like a very minor pause there, not like a crazy long pause, but just to control that change of direction and prevent bouncing out, and sort of using that stretch reflex through the quad and the patella tendon, and relying on the knee sleeves or knee wraps. You'll see people using wraps and just bouncing it up and down. And also on this, you know, if you're not getting depth, you'll have 6, 7, 8 plates on that easily. When you actually get into that bottom point of the rep, that's the hardest part. It's really, really hard there, which is why it feels so heavy and why your bracing is so important as well. If you don't get enough air in and brace properly on a leg press like this, you're done. You won't even get a rep. You'll just fold in half. Ooh. 3, 2, up. All you.
It's good depth though.
All day. All day. Ah, I got it. So I usually do 3 sets on this. Just 2 today. Again, sort of auto-regulating the volume throughout this session. So usually it would be 3 sets of hams, I did 2. It would be 3 sets of calves and abs, I did 2. It would usually be 2 sets on pendulum, 2 sets on leg press. I did 1 on each. This would be 3, and I've done 2 instead. And then usually at this point, I just sort of add in a little bit at the end, like a little bit of hamstrings, and I'll do a leg extension as well if I sort of feel like I want to. I reckon we're sound time-wise, I feel okay. I'll do a little bit more, but a bit more hams, leg extension, and then we'll be done. Last thing for hamstrings, single leg, loaded on cam 3, sat in more hip flexion as well. So really trying to sort of lengthen the hamstring as much as I can through not only knee extension, obviously on the machine, but as much hip flexion as possible as well. Also, just shifting your whole torso forwards is going to drop the profile off a little bit more as well, because your centre of mass moves forward. So it's really hard at the top, drops off nicely towards the bottom, especially at this point in the session when we're already pretty fatigued. We've already done the prone hamstring curl at the start as well. Just 1 set with some LPs. So, adductor 1 set, cam 3, just like we did on the ham curl. Finish off with leg extension. Again, we'll do it on cam 3, so it's really hard in that lengthened position, drops off more. And then we'll be done, wrap it up. Right guys, that is a wrap for the leg session and obviously the check-in with Ben. So first of all, shout out to Ben for making the journey. It was good. It was a good session, really good session. Like I said, for me, it was like an auto-regulated volume session, and definitely needed it. Like I felt pretty battered these last few days, and that was a nice session to sort of not feel absolutely ruined sort of throughout and come the end of it. So yeah, the plan is now basically push on for another week and a half, and then I'll deload when I'm in Barcelona. I'm going to take like a full week off because last few deloads I've had have been like 3-4 days, and even when I've done that, I've been busy over those 3-4 days. So it's going to be like a full week where I'll probably have a couple of days to just chill when I get back, because, well, based on how I feel, if I want to just get straight back into training, I probably will. But I'll be taking, I'm away for 5 days, so I'll be taking a decent bit of time off. And yeah, other than that, we've got the MBW show coming up. We've got a few more meets with clients coming up most weekends. We're going to do another fkphysiques meetup in the next few months as well, which will be cool. We've got some cool guests planned for the podcast as well, so keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you're following the Once You're In podcast if you're not already. And yeah, keep up to date with everything that's coming soon. Thank you all, as always. Appreciate anybody who's watching, appreciate new subscribers. If you aren't subscribed, please do. And I will catch you all in the next episode.